Be sure to like us on Facebook at Choice TV SLU. Stay up to date with the latest entertainment and news stories that matter most. What are you waiting for?
Get ready for Shamak. Join the charismatic Shamak Leo as he dives into current events, social issues, entertainment and culture with interesting and light-hearted interviews and compelling guests. Shamak delivers fun and thought-provoking conversations that inform, inspire and entertain. Tune in every Friday night at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV.
Moi que tu as sous bout mi papa de moi aïe là me passer immigration nga ko police try to moi ha ki bay mo fi rester seul no match
la jamais vrai nga fait comme un bobol comme
people who know me look at me as being a humble little guy, you know.
Je m'appelle Mr. Lady. Mardi c'est comment c'est moi mon travail.
Moi ou pas fait moi pas fait hello excuse me I'm back.
Voice of the People. Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV.
Time check brought to you by Massey Home, your way to a beautiful home.
You're watching Choice TV, the people's choice for TV. This segment of the news brought to you by Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need. Hello everyone, welcome to Choice News Now Prime. I'm Shane Cherry. Watch the broadcast live on our Choice TV Facebook page, Choice TV SLU, and our YouTube channel at Choice TV St. Lucia, or listen to the simulcast on Liberty Radio 92.3 FM. In the news tonight, millions of dollars in unpaid medical bills from the St. Lucian public add financial pressure to an already strained Owen King EU hospital. The government launches a comprehensive public service review to modernize jobs, pay and performance standards. St. Lucia welcomes a CPL 20 T20 action as cricket fever takes over the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground from Wednesday, August 12th. And in news from the region, St. Lucia Kings edge Antigua and Barbuda Falcons by 4 runs in a thrilling CPL clash in St. Vincent. In our top story tonight, mounting public concern over long wait times, patient care and service delivery at the Owen King EU Hospital is being compounded by millions of dollars in unpaid medical bills by St. Lucians. Hospital officials warn the growing debt is placing further strain on operations and limited investment in critical equipment, medication and essential services as management grapples with balancing patient expectations against the need for financial sustainability. Kishana Smith begins our newscast.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex, Damian Greaves, has acknowledged the growing public dissatisfaction surrounding services at the Owen King EU Hospital, admitting that the institution continues to grapple with a negative public perception. While assuring the public that efforts are well underway to improve the hospital's image and the quality of care delivered, he pointed to another issue he described as equally troubling. According to the CEO, the public currently owes the Owen King EU Hospital in excess of $20.5 million in outstanding medical bills, a figure he says has become a major financial burden on the institution. Greaves explained that while healthcare remains one of the most costly sectors to operate, many patients who receive treatment fail to settle their accounts, leaving the hospital to absorb significant financial losses.
When I first came here, in 1st of November 2024, the public owed the hospital $16 million. As we speak, the public owes the hospital $20.5 million.
He cited instances where patients undergo extensive medical treatment or surgery, but after their passing, relatives or next of kin fail to assume responsibility for the outstanding expenses.
In some instances, we have people owing the hospital over 100, or individuals owing the hospital over $100,000, and people use different excuses. So you can't do come quickly, be munamo so many pou pay. a lot bagay yo ka di matin aime manger a pas te bon. Matin aime nos la, matin aime docteur, ma aime mod la sa by ici, ma aime couche la. That is true. You may not like it. Who likes everything? The fact is, you have received the service, and once you have received the service, they pay no one who service la. Who suppose pay? Si moun nan mort, oui moun nan mort, mais moun nan servi un service, and the next of kin or whoever is responsible should try to help us to deal with that.
According to Greaves, too often the hospital is left without any avenue to recover those costs, despite having already invested considerable resources into the patient's care. He stressed that revenue collected from patient payments is not intended to generate profit, but rather to sustain the delivery of quality healthcare.
We need to help in terms of supplies. We need to help do certain other things that we need to keep up with what we have to do. We have machinery to repair, equipment to repair. We have to do a little touch-up of the emergency every now and then. We have furniture to replace, right? There are a lot of things that we need to do, and we need the money to do that.
Echoing similar sentiments was the island's Minister for Health, Honorable Moses Baptiste. While noting that no patient is denied medical attention because of an inability to pay, he further encouraged individuals to contribute toward meeting their financial obligations for services received at the hospital.
We continue to ask St. Lucians to invest some more in our own medical care. If you go to the hospital, the hospitals do not prevent anybody from accessing emergency medical services, but we must invest some more in our own medical care.
For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
The government of St. Lucia is continuing its push to expand access to education and human capital development through a range of initiatives aimed at creating greater opportunities for St. Lucians. However, its latest undergraduate assistance program is raising questions about whether financial support reaches students when they need it most, particularly those struggling to meet the cost of their first year of tertiary education. Kishana Smith has this report.
The government of St. Lucia says it continues to champion education as a vehicle for social mobility and national development, with financial assistance forming part of its broader efforts to make tertiary education more accessible to St. Lucians. The latest initiative is the government's undergraduate grant, which is designed to promote financial support to eligible students pursuing their first degree and forms part of the government's broader endeavor to attain one university graduate per household. Under the criteria, students must have progressed to at least their sophomore year of undergraduate studies and provide evidence of financial need. However, such requirements have left one to ponder on one pointed question. If a student cannot afford to begin university in the first place, how can that student ever reach year 2 and become eligible for that assistance? The issue was raised with Education Minister, the Honorable Kenson Kazimi, during Monday morning's pre-cabinet press briefing, prompting further discussion on the accessibility of the program and whether its eligibility criteria adequately addresses the financial barriers faced by students at the outset of their tertiary education journey.
We have different strategies for ensuring that we have one university graduate per household. With the Unipass grant, let me make sure we explain that. The Unipass grant is for individuals who have gotten accepted. They've started university. They may be working, or they may have gotten some finances to start university and then stumble upon hard times. Hence the reason why the grant is for individuals who are in their last few years trying to complete. So what government would do now is take into consideration your grades, how you're doing, and what your financial situation is at the time, and provide you with assistance in completing your degree.
He further underscored the significance of such an initiative, noting that the government of St. Lucia's willingness to invest in students pursuing higher education is commendable.
I think that is amazing, because at the end of the day, a lot of us start and then we get, somebody might have a child, somebody might lose their job and that sort of thing. So that particular aspect of the service we are rendering is targeted at these individuals.
Minister Kazimi acknowledged other possibilities, including the first-generation scholarship opportunity, get at assisting students who endeavor to pursue their undergrad studies.
Now you have the first generation scholarship where from day one you are given a full scholarship. 75 individuals will be receiving that scholarship in the next few weeks to do the entire program. And then you still have the economic cost from UE. So if we're helping those that are struggling, we're helping those that are starting, and we're helping those that are finishing, kiss out your call.
The government of St. Lucia has continued to announce and facilitate educational opportunities for St. Lucians, providing more avenues for professional development and national development. The ball is now in the hands of the island's young minds to capitalize on the opportunities available to them, equipping themselves with the knowledge, skills, and qualifications necessary to contribute meaningfully to their own development and the continued progress of St. Lucia. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
Following a recent strain on egg supplies, a key source of protein for St. Lucians, the government is moving to stabilize the local industry. Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security Minister Lisa Jawahir says the ministry is strengthening oversight of key market operations while encouraging farmers to register their holdings with regional extension officers to support production planning and safeguard the domestic egg supply. Phoebe Popo tells us more.
As a low-emission, highly affordable source of quality protein, eggs play an essential role in supporting public health and driving local agricultural economies. Amid a recent island-wide shortage that sparked calls for the government to invest directly in egg production, Jawahir emphasized that the primary focus must instead be on getting these existing operations officially registered with the Ministry of Agriculture.
Well, we have many egg farmers. A lot of them are not entirely registered with the Ministry of Agriculture, and that is one of the tasks that we have ahead of us, that people are operating in a manner that they believe, they have an idea and they want to go into it. But the best thing is to work with an extension officer. We have extension officers for livestock, persons who can support the poultry sector, and of course crop production. But the ultimate goal is to get them connected with a technical expert who can get them registered, because at that point, there's no barrier that exists where they cannot go to a distributor directly.
Jawahir noted that existing policies must continue to protect local egg producers, emphasizing that open, ongoing dialogue between farmers and the ministry is key to preventing future supply crisis.
What that really means for us going forward, the government does not want to invest in hatcheries. We don't want to go into egg production because we have several farmers that are doing this on a large scale. What we are here to do is to ensure that the policy is there to accommodate what it is that they want. And of course, if they need any support from the government, will be readily available. How do we prevent this in the future? Just more open conversations with the farmers, that they can be a little more closely connected to the ministry now that we have our agenda for expansion of our food sector and our ultimate goal of achieving self-sufficiency.
With government direct investment off the table, the ministry's focus remains firmly on regulation, structural support, and accurate data collection. As extension officers work to bring unregistered farms into the official fold, officials hope closer collaboration between the government and local poultry farmers will stabilize the egg supply, protect consumer access to affordable protein, and build a more resilient agricultural sector across the island. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
Coming up, the government launches a comprehensive public service review to modernize jobs, salaries and performance standards. And St. Lucia welcomes the CPL T20 action as cricket fever takes over the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground from Wednesday, August 12th. The stories and more coming up after the break. Stay with us. The news continues.
It's all about you and the dreams you believed, how you made your way ahead, all the goals you have achieved.
All along the way, you've been a partner so true, all the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. It's still about you and the life you're shaping now, all the doors that open wide, every step, every vow.
All along the way, you'll be a partner so true, all the way you've seen me through.
We're all the bank you need. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, so bank on your future. We're the Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Celebrate
celebrating 25 years strong. Bank of St. Lucia, all the bank you need.
Welcome to our Cruise Community Series, where we meet the persons behind the scenes who drive our diverse cruise industry. Today, we meet one of our amazing cruise agents.
Platinum Port Agency, we are a maritime vessel agency. Basically, we are agents for whenever maritime vessels need to come into St. Lucia. They need to be cleared with the government officials of St. Lucia, and we are the ones that facilitate those requests. Any foods, items, so you try to foster a relationship with the cruise lines, you exchange emails, try to create a human connection, different channels of economic stimulation that happens from that. You have, say, the drivers that need to get the persons to and from, or the goods to and from. You have farmers or suppliers. There's a lot of things that we do in the cruising sector that may not be on the front line for people to see, but rest assured we're getting it done.
Be sure to like us on Facebook at Choice TV SLU. Stay up to date with the latest entertainment and news stories that matter most. What are you waiting for?
The government of St. Lucia is undertaking a comprehensive review of job classifications, salaries and performance across the public service as part of efforts to modernize the state workforce. The exercise aims to improve efficiency, strengthen performance, and ensure public officers are better positioned to meet the changing demands of government while delivering more effective services to the people of St. Lucia. Kishana Smith tells us more.
The public service is the machinery through which government policies are transformed into everyday services for citizens. But with persistent concerns over inefficiency, outdated systems, and the capacity of the public sector to meet the demands of a modern state, the government, through the Ministry of the Public Service, is now looking to recalibrate how that machinery operates. On Tuesday, August 11th, Senior Minister and Minister for the Public Service, Honorable Stephenson King, engaged with World Bank representatives and other key stakeholders at the Ministry of Public Service conference room as efforts begin to strengthen the efficiency and effectiveness of St. Lucia's public service. The discussions form part of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, a World Bank-funded initiative being implemented in St. Lucia and other OECS countries, intended to address gaps in government infrastructure, cybersecurity, digital platforms and capacity, while supporting the modernization of public sector operations and service delivery.
But this is indeed a very important activity for the government of St. Lucia and forms part of our broader efforts to modernize and strengthen the public service. The review of the job classification and pay plan is being undertaken under the Caribbean, as you're aware, under the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, a World Bank funded initiative supporting St. Lucia's digital transformation and wider public sector modernization.
A key component of the engagement is the review of the job classification and pay plan for the government of St. Lucia. Highlighting that the initiative was introduced in 1991, Minister King noted that the 2026 review is necessary in light of the significant changes and developments that have taken place over the years.
The existing classification and pay plan, I recall, came into effect in September 1991. During that time, I was part of the government as the youth minister. Today, I come as the senior minister. And such a review was initiated, was done also in 2011, but could not be completed, largely because the job descriptions available at the time were not adequate to support the required job evaluations. More than 3 decades later, the nature of work has changed considerably. Technology has transformed the workplace. New professions have emerged, challenged by the advent of AI, while the skills and competences required within the public service continues to evolve.
Minister King further underscored the government's continued commitment to developing and strengthening the public sector workforce, while highlighting the key outcomes expected upon successful implementation of the project.
Through this consultancy, the government is seeking to comprehensively review and modernize the classification and pay plan to promote greater fairness, consistency, and equity, and ensure that the system reflects the requirements of a modern public service. This is absolutely important to the government and people of St. Lucia.
The review is aimed at comprehensively examining the existing classification and remuneration framework and updating it to reflect the demands of a modern public service. The initiative comes against the backdrop of long-standing public discourse surrounding the efficiency and responsiveness of government services, and engagements of such nature signal an attempt to move simply beyond identifying shortcomings and toward institutional reform, workplace optimization, and greater operational efficiency. For Choice News Now, I am Kishana Smith.
The Cultural Development Foundation is expanding opportunities for local artisans through the second phase of its wood sculpting workshop, themed From Workshops to Worldshops. The 8-week program will help experienced artisans and sculptors refine their craft, explore global collaborations, and develop market-ready products. CDF Head of Training, Development and Outreach, Tracy Dalsey, says the initiative builds on the enthusiasm demonstrated during the foundation-level program, while strengthening both creative and business skills. Phoebe Popo reports.
Woodwork specialists play a vital role in St. Lucia's culture and economy, driving key sectors like tourism and construction while keeping traditional Tikai architecture alive. To sharpen these skills, a new workshop is tackling everything from wood sculpting and intercultural collaboration to product preservation and market readiness. To help local artisans take their craft global, the Cultural Development Foundation has partnered with Spotlight Taiwan, Export St. Lucia, the Forestry Department, and the Department of Commerce to guide participants through export portfolio requirements. Tracy Dalsey, Head of Training, Development and Outreach at the CDF, explains the vision behind the initiative.
When we look at art, art is not just for beauty, it's to document your story. And for many years, decades, centuries, artists have documented their story through wood. And this year, we're just happy that through support through the Embassy of China, Taiwan, we have been able to secure some more funding through the Spotlight Taiwan project to bring another installment of our wood sculpting workshop business. So our workshop is entitled From the Workshop to the Worldshop. In my hand is a piece that I just discovered from a young guy, Mr. Lloyd Lecomte. If you notice this is detailed, this is beautiful. And what we found is sometimes guys, our sculptors can actually create some beautiful pieces, but then you ask them to mass produce it, and they may not be able to.
Dalsey outlined the next phase of the project and what participants can expect in Level 2.
In Level 2, we are moving away from just the basic skills of creating your pieces into how do you preserve it, what are some sustainable practices in terms of sourcing wood on island. We'll be moving into also the business side of things, because the whole idea of this workshop is taking them from the workshop to the worldshop. So we're partnering with, for instance, Export St. Lucia, Department of Commerce, as well as Forestry, for them to do sessions on portfolio development, how to develop your small business, what is required for you to export your product, because we know these days there are lots of requirements in terms of exporting a product outside of St. Lucia.
According to Dalsey, the workshop will integrate both virtual and hands-on classes.
We begin our classes the week of the 25th. We're going to have once a week virtually for 1 hour, and then from the 21st to the 3rd of October, the 21st of September, that is, to the 3rd of October, we're going to have in-person sessions. So the in-person sessions are 2 weeks. However, previous to that, we'll be having some initial sessions, 1 hour, with the various participants.
Dalsey notes that imported tools will be provided to reduce costs, while encouraging greater youth participation based on last year's success.
Even in this gentleman, the facilitator, Hank Sai, coming down, he has offered some of the gentlemen, he said, hey, do they need tools? Sorry, let me just take that again. If the gentleman coming down, which is Hank Tai, he will be, he's provided us a catalog of tools, some of the tools that you don't easily get here. So we shared it with individuals who have signed up and said, would you like to purchase them? So when he's coming down, he's bringing those tools, which will make some of their work a little bit easier.
Overall, the workshop aims to cultivate a new wave of St. Lucian artisans while giving individuals a dedicated space to refine and master their wood sculpting techniques. The CDF's Head of Training and Development is urging interested persons to take advantage of this free opportunity. Interested applicants can sign up by emailing info@cdfstlucia.org accessing the registration link on the CDF social media pages, or visiting the Cultural Development Foundation office in person to register. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
This is Choice News Now Prime. More news coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Every building pulses with its own life and energy. Let's ensure yours shines with health and vitality. Lewis Industries infuses life into every corner of your buildings with tailored cleaning solutions. From conquering mold and mildew, restoring floors to their former glory, to meticulous post-construction cleanups, washroom sanitizations, and caring for delicate fabrics and upholstery, our comprehensive services covers all your building cleaning needs. Create an environment that boosts productivity and leaves a lasting impression, because clean is not just an appearance, but a performance. Bring your workspace to life with Lewis Industries. Call us at 450-4060 or visit us at www.lewisindustries.ltd.com to schedule your professional cleaning service today.
We could do something with that extra space downstairs.
You mean where your 25-year-old nephew refuses to leave?
Stop it, Eddie. I mean, the actual space. Fresh paint, new furniture.
An eviction notice?
We could fix it up properly, okay?
Okay, turn it into a rental. Make some extra money. I just don't want a second mortgage.
It's not a second mortgage. HomeFlex gives you a $50,000 line of credit using the freed up value in your home. You use what you need and pay down what you use over time. You can also use it for investments or even pay for your vacation.
When is your vacation here ending?
Ask about a BOSL HomeFlex line of credit today.
Auntie, call me when food ready.
BOSL HomeFlex. Unlock your home's potential.
Cricket fever is sweeping St. Lucia as the local leg of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League gets underway this week. From Wednesday, August 12th, the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground will come alive with world-class T20 action as local fans prepare for a packed schedule of high-stakes matches running through August 21st. Phoebe Popo tells us more.
Feel the energy and get ready for pure adrenaline. Starting Wednesday, August 12th through Friday, August 21st, the St. Lucia Kings will defend home turf at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds for the local leg of the Caribbean Premier League. Reflecting on the pulse-pounding finish of last evening's match, Sports Minister Honorable Kenson Casimir admitted to the sheer anxiety of the nail-biter, emphasizing that home crowd energy makes all the difference on the pitch. Casimir is urging St. Lucians across the island to pack the stands, buy their tickets early and bring non-stop support for the Kings throughout this home stretch.
The Caribbean Premier League T20 competition is ongoing. CPL T20 2026. St. Lucia victorious last night, had palpitations for many of us. I saw a meme where somebody had a blood pressure monitor when watching the St. Lucia Kings. I think it's a little bit more than that. You have to check your pulse, you have to check your pressure, you have to check. I think everything goes up when you're watching St. Lucia.
The Minister of Sports is calling on all St. Lucians to head to the stadium dressed in national colours to show their full support for the St. Lucia Kings.
So I want to encourage all St. Lucians to purchase your tickets and attend matches in St. Lucia. Our first game is on the 12th, Wednesday the 12th at Beau Séjour, the 14th, the 16th, 19th, and the 21st. We have 3 St. Lucians as part of our CPL team this year. Keon Gaston, McKenny Clark, Akim Ogis on that team. A team that seems to be very well put together. I saw a lot of people commenting on paper whether or not we had the team to do it. I do believe we have a team to get it done this year, and I'm just certainly hoping that all of St. Lucia will be out in their blue as the St. Lucia take on the rest of the region in CPL action.
With crucial tournament points on the line and an unmatchable stadium atmosphere waiting to unleash, the stage is set for an unforgettable homestand. Whether you are in the stands for the high-fiving sixes or supporting from home, the next 10 days promises pure excitement. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Coco.
Two St. Lucian weightlifters are making their mark on the regional stage following performances at the CAC Games in Santo Domingo. Raven Gabriel and Janika Albert competed against seasoned Olympic-level athletes, drawing attention to the potential of the sport locally. Sports Minister Kenson Kazime says government remains committed to securing additional resources to support weightlifting and other emerging sporting disciplines. Phoebe Popo has the story.
Emerging sports like weightlifting are gaining momentum in St. Lucia following notable achievements at the CAC Games in Santo Domingo on August 7, 2026. National weightlifters Raven Gabriel and Janika Albert represented the island against a field of experienced senior and Olympic athletes. Gabriel secured a 12th place finish in her weight class, while Albert placed 5th in the women's 77 kg category. Together, their efforts earned St. Lucia 64 points, placing them ahead of the regional pairs like Barbados, Antigua, and Guadeloupe in a field of 19 countries. Addressing the association's progress, Minister for Youth Development and Sports, Honorable Kenson Kazime, noted that while all sports hold value, resource allocation often favors more established disciplines.
The Ministry of Youth Development and Sport we've had a number of challenges over the year in terms of the whole ideology of we being, so there are different sort of thinking as it pertains to sports development. Some people, the school of thought would be focus on what you're best at. So you would have the belief that St. Lucia has been doing well in cricket, track and field, they've been doing well in, let's say, volleyball, they've been doing very well. So you focus most of your attention and finances on these sports, and then you augment some of your efforts on the other sports. So there is that theory. We've had previous governments who've actually mentioned that this is the way to develop small island sports.
Minister Kazime underscored that the government aims to support every athletic discipline, though he acknowledged that equipment and maintenance costs make weightlifting a particularly expensive sport to maintain.
For me, as Minister of Sport, I wouldn't want to see any sport left behind. The reality is, with that approach, you need a lot of financing. You need to be able to give weightlifters, which is one of the more expensive sports because you have to do supplementation, you have to do gym, you have to do a lot of time investment in that. You would have to be able to give them the requisite attention financially that is needed. And that is the challenge. The challenge is we have all of these different sporting activities, and we as a nation, we are doing well in most of them, and it requires us now to acquire additional financing towards it.
The sports minister assured that his ministry is actively pursuing additional funding opportunities to support weightlifting and outlined ongoing efforts to enhance grassroots development for non-traditional sports.
Me as minister, we continue to work towards ensuring that we have those finances. We have within our last manifesto the creation of a weightlifting gym for St. Lucia, a national weightlifting gym. So I can tell you that signals to weightlifters that this government is serious about their plight. It is expensive because you need some real technical, esoteric sort of equipment for that sport. And so we're expecting that at the end of the day, that very soon they will be given that required level of attention that we know they deserve.
As St. Lucia's weightlifters continue to prove their capability on the international stage, local sports officials hope increased financial backing will turn these promising regional results into sustainable, long-term athletic programs. Reporting for Choice News Now, I am Phoebe Popo.
The news continues after the break with PR Daily. Stay with us.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
If you suffer with pain from fibromyalgia, lupus, sickle cell anemia, sciatica, or arthritis, Lockley DeCoste doctor specialists from overseas in St. Lucia will diagnose and treat patients who have been suffering long. Lockley DeCoste specialists will treat the symptoms of stroke, brain injuries, spinal cord injuries with shoulders, elbows, knees, back and neck pain, even plantar fasciitis being a pain of the past. Lackley Ducor specialist in St. Lucia EMG tests will measure the damage in neuromuscular disorders and diabetic neuropathy, because Lackley Ducor's doctor specialist provides proper diagnosis using the most effective treatment for you to live free of pain.
Moi que tu as sous mi baba de moi aïe clairement moi passer immigration nga ko police tebe moi ha ti bay
moi fi me rester seul no match
la jamais vrai nga fait comme un bobol comme
people who know me look at me as being a humble little guy, you know.
Choma ba mi lady madi se comment c'est ba mon travail moi ou pas fait moi pas fait hello excuse me I'm back.
Voice of the People, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Choice TV. Welcome back to Choice News Now Prime. Here's PR Daily with Kishana Smith.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PR Daily, your trusted source for the latest press releases, important announcements, community initiatives, and events. I am your presenter, Kishana Smith. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Grizzly Police Divisional Headquarters is investigating the death of a female following an incident which occurred on Sunday, August 2nd at Rodney B. Grizzly. A female pedestrian fell onto the roadway and into the path of an omnibus. She was subsequently transported to the Owen King EU Hospital for medical attention. Later, she succumbed to her injuries on Monday, August 10th at the Owen King EU Hospital. The deceased has been identified as 27-year-old Tanisha Yard of Kazaba Grizzly. Police say an active investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident is ongoing. In other news, while the traditional wet season began in June, the confirmation of an evolving strong El Niño event for the region is cause for concern, as a consecutive drier than normal wet season may occur. This can delay a return to normal base flows in our rivers and streams, and thus compounds the water supply situation. In light of these conditions, the Ministry of Agriculture encourages the public to be mindful about water use. More in this report.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Sustainable Development is reminding all St. Lucians that every drop counts. With the island continuing to experience below average rainfall and the possibility of a drier than normal wet season, our water resources remain under pressure. Now is the time to conserve water. Store potable water responsibly and make greater use of harvested rainwater for everyday activities like flushing toilets, washing vehicles, doing laundry, and watering gardens. Simple action taken today can help reduce the impact of water shortages tomorrow. The ministry, together with its partners, continues to monitor the situation and will keep the public informed.
In its second year, Art Escape is placing St. Lucian culture and identity at the center of its creative program under the theme Culture and Nature. What does it mean to be St. Lucian? The initiative brings together 18 students, each tasked with producing 3 pieces of artwork exploring different aspects of the island's cultural heritage, including indigenous traditions, national festivals, and local outfits and costumes.
The focus for the camp this year is culture and nature. What we really wanted to get out of all of this is an education about who we are as a nation. What does it mean to be St. Lucian? So we focused on natural things found in St. Lucia and also the different festivals that we have. So the children, we did 3 different pieces of artwork. One, the mosaic, where the children got to choose to create a piece from anything local. So some of them, they did the cocoa, some of them did coconut trees, but everything that they created was something that we would have found here. 2 of the children actually chose to do the iguana, which is one of our indigenous animals here. one of the other pieces was a focus on creating an outfit, a costume for one of our festivals. So the children, we've looked at La Rose, La Marguerite, Journée Creole, Carnival, and the last one is the focus was on perspective painting, and we focused on natural things. So if you go around, everything that they've painted, most of what that they painted would be something in nature.
Well, I used to draw, not draw, I used to paint a lot when I was younger. And then when I was 8, I decided to take drawing seriously. So I watched so many videos and used different things. So yeah, I've been drawing for 8 years, since I was 4.
I honestly feel that art is very important. Sometimes at school they focus so much on the academics, and not all students are academically inclined, but you can always find an artistic avenue for them to be able to express themselves. So I wanted my son to have that experience, have that opportunity to do that with art. The art piece with perspective and the mosaic, that's not something I would expect from him at his age because he's only 6. But the fact that he was able to produce that at the camp, I was blown away.
We have 18 students participating this time around. When we just started, it was a dismal 8, but we were happy for the 8 because we accomplished a lot. On one side of the room, we are showcasing some of what we had done previously, because what we're trying to do every time there's a break to ensure that there's continuity, that the children creative juices are flowing.
And that's all for today's edition of PR Daily. If you have a press release that you want to share with our audience, send us an email at news.choicemedianetwork@gmail.com. Thank you for watching PR Daily, and do stay tuned for more news and updates. Back to you, Sheen.
Thank you, Kishana. Let's now take a look at the local weather forecast.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store's City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Advertise to a captive audience. Make your business a star with Choice TV. Call today for your advertising package. Make the right choice. Call 728-9652.
Life is full of tough choices. This one shouldn't be one of them. Wait, 9 pieces for $35? That's crazy. But do I need KFC today? I mean, I had it. When did I last have KFC? Oh yeah, that was a good day. Okay, wait. If I don't buy it, someone else will. Now what if they take the last bucket? Yep, right decision. Definitely right decision.
KFC Crazy Tuesday, because some deals are too good to resist.
Welcome back. Here's Kishana Smith once again with our regional news package.
Welcome to the regional news package. I'm your presenter, Kishana Smith. St. Lucia Kings defeated the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons by a narrow margin of 4 runs in St. Vincent on Sunday night. The Kings made 187 for 8 with Andres Goose scoring 82, while Alzari Joseph took 3 scalps. In reply, the Falcons were restricted to 183 for 7 with Elvin Lewis making 48, but in vain. More in this report.
St. Lucia Kings won the toss and chose to bat against Antigua and Barbuda Falcons in their Republic Bank CPL match in Kingstown. Opener Camille Puran was caught by Rakeem Cornwall of the bowling of Fabian Allen for 14.
That's a stunner! A floor classic catch from the big man.
But Andres House would star with the bat for the St. Lucia franchise.
Gone with that flick.
In fact, House was more like a one-man army.
And long enough.
He made 82 with 6 fours and 6 sixes.
That's classical.
But the others hardly made an impact with a willow.
Well, an aggressive swing right off the bat, and what a catch!
Alzari Joseph was lethal with ball in hand.
They done gone! They needed...
It included the wicket of Darren Ned, with Fabian Allen taking a beauty.
They get there. Fabian, fabulous Fabian!
Shamar Springer was expensive with 2 for 39.
Middle stump out of the ground after being struck for 6, yeah.
And Joseph picked up 3 for 32.
In the air. And you can never tell, you know.
In the end, the St. Lucia Kings closed on what was a competitive score of 187 for 8 from their 20 overs.
Has he nailed this? Yes, he has.
When the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons responded, Rakeem Cornwall and Evan Lewis put on 36 in 3.2 overs, with a rotund all-rounder doing the bulk of the scoring. Cornwall was caught and bowled by Maish Tikshana for 27.
That's it. That's the end of the innings. The rack attack has to depart.
Tim Robinson joined Lewis, and they continued to keep the scoreboard ticking.
Slap for a Republic Bank maximum.
Their partnership was worth 56 runs for the second wicket.
Sound of the bat told us a story.
Lewis top scored with 48 of 24 balls.
Full toss and punished for 4.
Robinson was out for 30, giving the frugal Tikshana his second scalp.
Straight to the fielder. That's not what you want.
Roston Chase was also brilliant with ball in hand.
As he caught it, wonderful, a little bit of a tumble.
Just like Tikshana, Chase also picked up 2 for 18.
He had to try, he hasn't.
Fabian Allen played a cameo by getting 28 not out.
On to it. Fabian Allen has the power.
With 10 to get from 3 balls, Matthew Ford ran out Jamar Hamilton. Then with 5 to score of the last ball and everyone on tenterhooks, Shamar Springer was caught by Darren Ned to give Ford the wicket. Antigua and Barbuda Falcons were restricted to 183 for 7 and lost the thriller by 4 runs.
And the Kings!
Vinod Nawani, Chief Export.
Opposition leader Azharuddin Mohammed is criticizing the government's newly launched Model Village initiative, arguing that Guyanese need completed and properly serviced housing schemes, not new flagship projects, while thousands of existing applicants continue to face inadequate roads, drainage, utilities, and other basic infrastructure.
Opposition leader Azharuddin Mohammed says Guyanese need completed housing schemes with reliable roads, drainage, and utilities, not another government slogan launched while thousands of applicants remain without house lots and established communities awaiting basic infrastructure. In a video statement, Mohammed criticized the government's newly launched Model Village initiative, arguing that the administration should first finish incomplete housing developments and repair neglected communities. Mohammed questioned that promise, claiming that the People's Progressive Party Civic continues to fail, despite its years in office, to develop a single community with all essential amenities in place.
But after 30 years in office, the PPP should identify one model community they have built. Let me take the liberty to answer: none. Not one community has been built with all the basic amenities.
He further alleged that more than 50,000 housing applications remain pending. The government has previously acknowledged a substantial backlog, with Region 4 accounting for approximately 3/4 of the outstanding applications.
Thousands of Guyanese receive house lots that are swamplands. Families are then forced to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make the land usable.
Mohammed argued that the administration should introduce measures to reduce construction costs and make home ownership more attainable before promoting a new flagship project. He questioned the continued emphasis on Silica City while existing communities remain underserved.
If they really cared, they would have implemented measures of price control. Likewise, with the gimmicks President Ali displayed in Region 1, where he pretended to be upset about the high cost of airfare.
Mohammed also linked the program's launch to the aftermath of the July 18 MV Berima disaster, describing it as an attempt to redirect public attention while families continue to grieve and questions about the accountability remain unanswered. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
And finally, after 18 years and an alleged 14 contractual breaches, the government says it does not plan to respond to Global Petroleum Group as it disputes Grenada's grounds for the government's decision to terminate its agreements. The dispute appears headed for in arbitration after the company challenged the government's decision to terminate its petroleum agreements. The Grenadian government insists, however, its decision was precipitated by several contractual breaches and the company's failure to engage with authorities.
Global Petroleum Group, GPG, is challenging the government of Grenada's decision to terminate its petroleum agreements with the company after nearly 2 decades without commercial oil production. GPG first received an exploration license in 2008, covering 11 offshore blocks. A development license and production sharing agreement for 4 blocks followed in 2013, while a 2016 Memorandum of Understanding reserved the remaining 7 blocks pending commercialization of the original 4. As of August 1, 2026, the government has terminated both agreements. The government says it has identified 14 contractual breaches, including GPG's failure to submit key technical and financial documents, demonstrate commercially viable petroleum at Nutmeg Well 2, and meet a 2017 deadline to drill a second well. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell says that after 18 years, the company's time is up.
18 years is what it takes for the law in Grenada to recognize a citizen as an adult. That's an entire generation. 18 years is long enough. Today, that chapter ends and Grenada moves forward.
The government says the Hydrocarbons Technical Working Group repeatedly sought documentation from GPG beginning in 2023, but received no satisfactory response. While GPG maintains it was awaiting the regulatory infrastructure needed to begin work, Chair of the Technical Working Group, V. Nazim Burke, says the company repeatedly demonstrated a refusal to engage with local authorities.
They do not speak to the Technical Working Group. Their position is the Technical Working Group has no legal status, that they're not talking to the Technical Working Group, that the only person they want to talk to is the minister responsible for petroleum. And that as far as they're concerned, nobody is the minister responsible for petroleum, even though the cabinet sent a message, wrote to them through the Attorney General saying, look, all correspondence concerning your matter should come to the Attorney General. They refused.
GPG says it disputed the government's notice of termination and argues that the production sharing agreement remains in effect until the matter is resolved through arbitration. The government says it anticipated legal action and intends to participate in the dispute resolution process. Attorney General Claudette Joseph says the production sharing agreement allows for termination due to contractual breaches. She said arbitration does not prevent Grenada from engaging other investors, since the agreement only covers 4 offshore blocks.
No, that will not stop other interested parties from treating with Grenada. And I would also like to point out here that Grenada's territorial waters comprise 44 blocks. GPG only GPG only had a license over 4 of those blocks. So the other 40 we can do business with because they have nothing to do with GPG.
Prime Minister Mitchell says arbitration is only one means of resolving the dispute. He said the door remains open for talks if GPG can demonstrate that it is capable of meeting its contractual obligations. The government also announced that the Hydrocarbons Technical Working Group will hold a special joint briefing for Parliament on the way forward and the budgetary implications of the matter.
And that's all for the regional news package this evening. Back to you, Sheen.
Thank you, Kishana. Our final segment coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Courts presents their 2026 all-range event. Be inspired at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Get a chance to win an Indorama 30-inch stove with appliance purchase of $5,999 or more. Great deals on TVs and wall mounts. Everyday great value on mattresses. Bedroom bundle deals up to 25% off. Be inspired at the Courts 2026 all-range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 25th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Massey Store's waterfront is now temporarily closed for renovations for approximately 3 months. You are welcome to continue shopping with us at Massey Store City Store or Leclerc, where you can enjoy double points on Wednesdays and Fridays, weekly sampling, and ring-a-ding Fridays during the renovations. Thank you for your understanding and continued support of Massey Stores. Our family serving your family.
Collecting rainwater is easier than you think. With just a tank and a few simple connections, you can capture rainwater to use for non-potable uses, like cleaning, gardening, and more. Water is life. Every action matters. Every drop counts.
Welcome back. Before we enter tonight's broadcast, here's our update. A major new conservation initiative backed by actor and environmentalist Leonardo DiCaprio is aiming to rescue 100 species facing imminent extinction across 30 countries. The Phoenix Species Project begins with a US $200 million commitment, with $100 million each from the Bezos Earth Foundation and the conservation organization Rewild. The funding will provide sustained support to protect threatened mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, plants, and invertebrates. The initiative builds on evidence that species reduced to extremely small populations can recover when conservationists receive adequate funding and long-term support. Among the species targeted are Australia's elusive night parrot, the golden-crowned Sifaka lemur, the bowmouth guitarfish, hickory nut gorge green salamander, and the Chaco azul pupfish, which is already extinct in the wild. Rather than simply slowing population decline, the project is focused on helping species recover. Each selected species will receive 5 years of sustained conservation support, allowing local organizations and scientists to develop and implement long-term recovery programs. Organizers say protecting endangered species can also safeguard the forests, wetlands, grasslands, and oceans on which they depend. And with that, we come to the end of our primetime newscast. On behalf of the entire Choice TV family, thank you for staying with us. Stay tuned for more quality programming on Choice TV.
Moi,